Gotcha. Awesome.
Awesome. Byron, you're ready for all things. I'll tell you that, because if people can't hear me, I'm like, well, I don't know. I guess the Zoom's done. It's like that's we don't do a lot of Zoom, and I'm a 100-year-old human trapped in a 36-year-old body is what I am. So if the Zoom doesn't work, then I tell people I guess the meeting's just done. So Byron was ready. Look at that. Okay, you guys can hear me good? Y'all can hear me a lot
Perfect.
better?
Loud and clear.
Great. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in and get started. But we started the business super young. Like I said, I'm still young. I'm only 36, but we were 21 years old. And man, we're just, me and Rob, we met when we were actually 19 years old. We've been together since we were 19. And and again, I was in college when I was introduced to Primerica. I came to a one-person op night. Yep, that's right. There was one person there, and it was me. And the RVP was kind of annoyed of the op night, so he decided to leave. And he told his guys I was a good person to practice on. So my RVP gets in his car and leaves. And 3 people come up and show me the opportunity. And they were nervous. They talked for an hour. And I was exhausted, because when you're the only person at the meeting, you have to answer all the questions. I made eye contact the whole time. I mean, I was worn out. At the end of this meeting, I just wanted to go. I was done. I was honestly probably never going to come back. They said I made it to the second round, which was ridiculous because I was the only one that was there. So they go, hey, we like you so much that you made it to the second round of interviews. And I thought, yeah, I'm the only one that showed up, you idiots. I know I didn't make it. And so I was never going to come back to Primerica. But I forgot to cancel my second interview, and I'm not a flake. I would never just not show up. And I thought, man, shoot, I forgot to cancel. So I'll just go in and tell these guys why I'm not going to do Primerica. And, but I will tell you, at the meeting, one thing really caught my eye, and I'd never been shown this in my life. And again, I was 21 years old. I was a senior at University of North Texas. I thought originally I wanted to be an attorney. So I was going to go to law school. I was shadowing an attorney at the time, and I was in business finance classes. And but I'll never forget, they showed me this slide right here. It's funny because Byron showed it to you earlier. Let me click back on this. Can y'all see this slide, the cash flow quadrant? Y'all seen this, right? Mm-hmm. I'll never forget when they showed this to me. The only thing in the first meeting that stuck out, that's why to this day, I know this is an old slide. Y'all have the newer version. I don't even do, this is like the old, back in 2008, my first meeting. This is the exact slide I saw. I keep it in every single meeting because this is what I saw 15 years ago. And the only thing that stayed with me from that meeting was this right here, because I thought I was going the right direction. I thought they showed me that you could be an employee, you can be self-employed, a business owner, an investor. And I remember thinking, well, yeah, I'm going to be a business owner. Duh, I'm going to be an attorney, right? No. Then they go through this slide and they show that if you're an employee, I thought, oh yeah, I know not to be an employee. And then they showed self-employed, and they said it's like it owns a job like a dentist, doctor, lawyer, real estate. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be employed just for myself. So if I don't argue in court every day, I won't make any what? Money, right? And the only thing that stuck with me was that, and they started talking about the right side. And the right side is the right side, right? They talked about having a business and it owns a system and has others working for them, unlimited income potential. They started talking about being an investor and which side, one side has maybe some flexibility, but the other side has freedom. And I never thought about it like that. I never thought about if I was an attorney, I'd have flexibility, but not freedom. And that did catch my attention. And then they go on to show the 1% wealthy. And they said the 1% wealthy, right? 1% won the lottery, 5%, were sales guys, CEO, doctors. But they said almost 75% were business owners, entrepreneurs. They were entrepreneurs, actually owned a business that had a system. And I was missing that in my whole game plan. And I'd never thought about that. I never have looked up what the 1% wealthy had done. And entrepreneurship, even though my parents were entrepreneurs, we weren't necessarily taught that. I come from a family, I have 9 doctors in my family, 13 nurses, 4 attorneys. But my dad is a high school dropout, and he started a business, but never really taught us about it. We just saw it. You know, I always joke, but it's not a joke. I didn't grow up with a daddy who sat around playing video games. That's not what my daddy was. My dad worked. He worked. So he did not come home and just go play video games all day like some little dweeb, okay? My dad was a worker, and so I learned work ethic. And it amazes me how many men play in softball leagues, basketball leagues, and their families broke and struggling. And to me, it's beyond pathetic. I can't think of anything more unattractive in a man or a woman than being wasteful of your time when your family needs you to step up and you need to go to work. And so I've never been afraid of hard work. I've seen it my entire life. My dad became a multimillionaire in his 30s. But also raised us in a way knowing that we weren't going to get any of it. That if we were waiting around for him to die, waiting for him to die off, that we'd be really old, like 80 years old before we inherited any money. Okay. So we always knew at a really young age that we had to kind of pave our way and things like that. So entrepreneur. And a lot of us, sometimes we see it, and why do most people not go into business? You know, the fact is almost 88% of people dream of having their own business, but less than 5% go do it. And if we were really honest, why do we not go do it? Why do we not just start a business? You know, people, if you ask the crowd if you'd rather own or rent, everyone would say own, right? If you ask a crowd of 1,000 people, would you rather own a Chick-fil-A or work at Chick-fil-A? Everyone would say own. I mean, own would win all day long. So why do most people rent versus own? Well, if we're really honest, it's because to own and start your own business, we say things like, well, it's a risk. It takes money. It's scary. You know, what if it doesn't work out? We have all these thoughts in our heads. And I think they're the same thoughts that I think even when I came into Primerica. You know, isn't it funny that we pray for something different and then we don't want to do it because it's different? Have you ever been there? We go, God, give me something different. And then Primerica comes along and we go, well, not that. That's too different. I want another kind of different. And he's up there going, dude, I got a lot of people to answer prayers. What do you want? Right? Don't you're complicating things. And we want something different, but then we want to choose the type of different. And man, there's nothing more different than Primerica, but in such a great way. Aren't the most different things the best things? And I always explain, and I think when I was younger, I'd go with my grandmom, and we'd work at homeless shelters, and we would make, hand out food, peanut butter and jellies, or sometimes we'd have some really good food. We hadn't come through the cafeteria line. And I used to, feel so sorry for these people. I thought, oh my gosh, these guys are homeless. You know, this is hard. But then I really started thinking and going, man, you know, we were created and we were made to be tough. Like back in the day, like the cowboy and Indian days, there was no homeless shelter. It didn't matter if your stomach hurt. It didn't matter if you couldn't walk. It couldn't matter if you had a headache or COVID or you were sneezing a lot or you thrown up that day. You know what you had to do still? Yeah, you had to jump on the back of a wild horse and sharpen your spear and go freaking ride full speed after a buffalo, spear the crap out of it, drag that 1,000-pound animal back to your Indian tent. And that wasn't enough. Then when you got back, you had to freaking start a fire from scratch. You had to figure out how to do that, right? And go find stones and sticks. And hopefully you could get this thing going, and it hadn't rained that day. I mean, we were legit made to be tough. And I think we forget that at times. You know, my younger generation, I run a team of pretty young people. I show them this picture all the time. I say, what's sad is, you know, in 2018, people will show a picture of their and say, hey, I found a picture of your grandfather. You know, here he is, 18 years old, going to war, fighting for freedom, fighting for our rights, and leaving mom and dad to go. And they knew how to use guns, and they went to fight wars, right? This was back in the day. This is what 18-year-olds did. And what's sad is our generation, I'm talking to myself and my guys in my base, what's sad is our generation, 2060, oh, here, I found a picture of your grandfather. Here he is when he was 18, right? At the house, taking selfies. One day he's a dog, then he's a zebra, then he's holding Tweety Bird. I mean, it really is. We have to toughen up. A really good book, and I'll post it out. It's really good. Y'all may have read it. It's by Claude Hamilton. It's called Toughen Up. And it is so good. But man, to win in this business, and not just this business, it's any business, and not just even business, and win in anything. I think to have a great marriage, I think to be in shape, you're going to have to be mentally tough. And our society tries so hard to push us towards easy, convenient, fast. I mean, they have it in front of our faces 24 hours a day. I mean, one fast food lane wasn't good enough, so now there's two, right? And then now Chick-fil-A, man, they walk out to your car because they know we can't wait. So they're at your window right when you pull up. I mean, it's just almost too fast. Anybody ever feel that way sometimes? It's just too fast. Like, I don't need people to know where I'm at all times and what I'm doing. And when I look at, it's just too much, right? So we're made to be tough is what I'm getting at. So when we came into business, so I came back from my second meeting, and I came back just to tell them I wasn't going to do Primerica. And I came out Miss Primerica. An hour and a half later, I came out going, man, this is the best business ever, because I asked a lot of questions. I got a lot of my questions answered. I'm not a dumb person, just like you guys on the Zoom today. You're not a dumb human being. I knew I could make a good, sound decision. I knew I could trust my gut, right? I always say God gave us our gut, our intuition, right? Not Google, right? I'm not a Googler. And I go with my gut, my instinct, because that was given to me by God. I don't go with the Google, because that's just a bunch of idiots, right? I have people that go, I saw a guy on Google say that he tried Primerica and didn't make a lot of money. I go, yeah, the guy on Google, Brad, yeah, he's an idiot who works at Taco Bell, the midnight shift. That's who Brad is, right? He's an idiot in his life, and he probably was one when he came here too, okay? Sometimes it follows you around, all right? So for me, when I came in, I was Miss Primerica. I remember I called my parents, and I was excited. I tried to set an appointment, and they were not for it. They actually, I set 10 appointments in my market. I have a big family because half my family is Hispanic. And so I set a lot of appointments. I set 10 appointments with all my aunts and uncles, my dad, his business partners, everybody. And it was ridiculed. So all truth passes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed. And my family was so negative. They were so negative, they canceled every single appointment. They called my aunts and uncles. My dad called his business partners, and they said, Whitney's lost her mind. She thinks this company's going to work. We're trying to talk her. I can't believe that she's going to work at this company. We've never heard of it. We think she's been tricked. But I felt with everything. I could feel it. To my head, it made no sense. But my heart, I knew something was going good here. I knew there was something really special. And that's what we came into. And that's what we decided. Let me click on this again. That's what we decided. But then I realized everything's been ridiculed. Look at this. The New York Times in 1904 said brains can't work at 80 miles per hour. I don't know what y'all drive. I drive a Jag, and it's the fastest one that's out there. And it goes like 60 in 3 seconds. Yeah, brains can work at 80 because I run over 80 every single day. Okay, you can ask my husband, all right? Not with the kids in the car, just with me. When I have the kids, I'm safe. Okay? So again, but look, it was ridiculed. 1904, they said it couldn't happen. In 1946, Daniel Zanuck said, television won't hold to any market. It won't capture after the first 6 months. People will be so tired, soon tired, of staring into a plywood box every single night. Guys, they never thought a TV could make it. They thought it was only going to be the radio, and no one thought a television would make it. Now what keeps people from greatness is that box. It's the TV. That's right. The average person a day watches TV 4 to 6 hours a day. Unbelievable, right? Guys, that means after an entire year has gone by, you spent 2 to 3 months doing nothing but stare at a box. Is that unbelievable? That means after 6 years, you spent a year, an entire year of your life. Could you imagine when you go to heaven, God plays a highlight of your life, and you're sitting there and you can't wait to see it. You go, man, what did I do in my life? What did I do? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you're watching a movie that goes on for a year straight. And it's you staring at a box as your kids are running around, as your grandkids are tugging at your shirt going, Mima, Mima, or as your kids are going, Mama, Dada, and all you will stare at a box that you can't remember, and all those memories of your family, maybe your spouse was trying to talk to you or make a joke or flirt with you or hold your hand, but you didn't pay attention because you saw those highlights, right? It's sickening when you think about it, right? And the box keeps people, guys, let me tell you something. I'm not saying everyone's like this. We didn't even own cable till we were about $300,000 a year. And some people hear that and they go, oh no, I ain't doing this if I can't watch my television. You're right. You know, everyone's not going to get that big, but maybe your goals and dreams just don't mean something to you, but it meant everything to us. And it did. I knew TV was always going to be there. Crap's recorded. I can always go back and watch it, right? It was funny, me and Rob the other day, we do, we'll watch TV now, okay? But only like, even to this day, and again, we're kind of crazy. We allow ourselves 2 days a week, and usually we don't even get those in because we're just, our life is so awesome. We're so busy. We have a lot of things going on. I'm convinced that just people that are either broke or have nothing going on or don't like their life sit there and watch TVs, okay? Because we can never really find the time to do it. But the other day, we saw this movie, and we thought it was like a new release. We thought like we were hip, like just, we were telling people, oh, y'all got to see this new movie that came out. And one of my guys go, Coach, that movie came out in 2013. That's a 10-year-old movie. We had no idea. We thought it was like some new hit, you know? And we were like, oh man, we thought we had like found some new awesome movie, but it was 10 years old, okay? But we didn't even own cable, so we didn't know that movie 10 years ago because we didn't own cable at all. Okay, let's keep going. Steve Ballmer, guys, okay, CEO of Microsoft. Look at this. He ridiculed the iPhone. How many of you guys have an iPhone? Right? He said there's no chance the iPhone will get any significant market share. No chance. Guys, unbelievable, right? So guys, the point I'm making is all great things get ridiculed. All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed. Guys, you better bet when we ran around, it was me and Rob and our 2 guys. Anybody feel that way? You don't got to raise your hand. Anybody feel that way? It's you and your 1 guy, you and your 2 guys? Oh, yeah, that was me and Rob. 15 years ago, we ran around, and anybody would listen. We told everyone. We'd been in the business. I mean, it'd been like 7 months at this point, and it was just us and our 2 guys. And we told everyone, oh, look at it, we're going to take over. People would go, you and those 2 guys, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, right? Well, oh, yeah, we're going to take over the world. Watch our smoke. Watch this. I mean, we really felt like we were going to do something big, and we believed it, and we created it in the mind first. And we sold out to, man, that this company was amazing, and it was about building and duplicating and opening up offices. And we sold out to the RVP and recruiting and duplication. We didn't do that good. And I don't want to scare you guys on the Zoom today, but you know, our first 6 months, I joined June 5th, 2008. This is my first 6 months with Primerica. And I know this isn't impressive, but I'm not trying to impress you guys. I have my story and you have your story. You know, I trained a guy last month. I met with him on Saturday, and by Wednesday, we already had him at 1,800, and he had already ran a 5x5. We already had him at like almost 2,000. He almost made $2,000 in like 4 days. And I said, buddy, I don't know if you're going to have a good story. He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, right now I get to show everyone how bad I felt early on. How do you, I go 4 days, you made $2,000. I can relate with a lot of people. You really can't, right? So, but we were so bad. And I say we, it wasn't really Rob, it was me, okay? So Rob still had his job at the hospital. So this isn't Rob's fault. This is all Whitney Cooper, right? And so my first 6 months, I didn't do very well. But I kept swearing to Rob that I was going to get better. And I think Primerica, what it does, it reveals what you're worth. And I didn't like this number. See this number on the screen? I didn't like that number. And I thought, man, I don't want to do that. I'm worth more than that. Anybody ever feel that way? And what I love about Primerica, it magnifies who you are, and it reveals so much. And we said, man, we got to get better, right? As we got better, our team got bigger. We went from us and our 4 guys to almost 8. And anybody that looked our way, we told them our business had doubled. Just because we went from our 2 guys to us and our 4 guys. And so anybody, they go, how's it going? I go, oh, my business is amazing. We've already doubled our business. And people go, oh my gosh, really? I go, yeah, we've doubled. It's unbelievable. And anybody that would talk to us, we didn't say, oh, you know, we only went from 2 people and grew another 2 or 3. To us, it was double. We doubled. Yeah, our business is doubled. We're booming. We're doubling in size. We're exploding the walls off the place. I mean, talked about it like you couldn't believe. You would have thought we were running a multi-million-dollar business, and no one really knew. All it meant was we went from our 2 guys to like our 4 guys. Okay, so anybody if there's a child there, we counted the kid. Okay, if there was a 5-year-old, that was part of our attendance. Yes, absolutely. We thought they could be 18. We didn't ask, so they could just be a very small 18-year-old. Okay, and so first it's ridiculed, second it's violently opposed. Guys, I'll tell you, you know, not only was my family cancel every appointment, there was a period that, and again, I'm different from maybe a lot of you guys. You know, I came in, I was still living at home with my parents. I literally owed my parents money when I came. Like, I had borrowed $20 from them 2 days before my interview. So they did not take it serious at all. A lot of you guys are not in that situation. So my parents had every right to kind of not really understand, violently opposed. But guys, third, it becomes accepted as being self-evident. You know, about a year later, we qualified for regional vice president, and it kind of started turning some heads. Like, okay, maybe this is kind of real. The better we got, the bigger we got. We started growing a hierarchy that's so big it can't even fit in this picture. The better we got, the bigger we got. See, I always tell people that no one's better than you. Nobody. But they are bigger. But they're not better, they're just bigger. And every week at our op night, you know, I have the #1 team stand up, and they say what their numbers are. And then I say, hey, can the whole team stand up? And when you look, I go, guys, they're not better than y'all. Even though they'll say they're better, they're not better. But they are bigger. See, if you play LeBron James one-on-one, he'll beat you. But if you show up with your team of 50 of average players, you'll beat him. And that's what Primerica is all about. It's about getting wide, getting big, recruiting the masses. You know, man, putting a jersey on people and just seeing what they're made of. And not judging. You know, you don't judge people by what they look on the outside. You got to find out what's on the inside. And I'm a big believer in that, because I have so many stories of people that came in, and you look at them today and people go, oh my gosh, they're incredible. But yeah, but it was always on the inside. And so many people wouldn't have given them the time of day, like Crystal and Julio. They'll go over 400,000 this year. He was a dish boy. I mean, he did dishes for Panda Express and Texas Roadhouse. He was a dish boy. Who would, they don't fit my criteria. Okay, dude, working? Oh my God, this guy is a worker. He'd work from like 6 in the morning to 2 or 3 in the afternoon, then go clock into his other job and work 4 to midnight. Are you kidding me? You don't think that kid could win here at Primerica? Absolutely. I can't teach work ethic to people. I can't teach drive. Here at Primerica, I can teach to anybody. I can't teach work ethic. And that guy had work ethic. And I'll talk to people and go, dude, I can't teach to have a heart. Today I met with a lady and she's a nurse. And I said, girl, I don't think you'd be good at Primerica. I know you would. You have a heart. You want to help people. I can't teach that. You already have it. I can teach Primerica to anybody. I just can't teach to care about someone else. And you have that coming in the door. So you got to understand that no one's better, but they are bigger. And guys, talking about, y'all just showed your numbers. Y'all licensed like 6.5, almost 7 people last month. And I don't know how many recruits y'all had, but y'all were not one of the top recruiters, but y'all were the top licensors. Licensors, is that a word? I don't know. I make stuff up sometimes. But guys, oh my gosh, what's your business going to look like when y'all are recruiting 100 people? Oh my gosh, if y'all are licensing 6 to 7 with what y'all are recruiting, imagine what's going to look like with 100. Guys, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. The bigger you get, the better the checks get. You know, last month we actually finished at 75,000 of income. So this is a little bit before the month ended, but this was good enough. Y'all get the point. Guys, my first 6 months, I made $2,000. Took me 6 months. Please don't think how you start or how it's going right now has anything to do with what your future holds. See, if I went with how we started Primerica, I, like most people, would have quit. Would you guys agree? But we hung in there. I knew Primerica pays people what they're worth. And I knew when I was new, I just wasn't worth a lot at the beginning because I had a lot to learn. I had a lot I needed to learn and get to grasp. I didn't understand everything yet. Everyone with me on that? Guys, I used to work all year long. My highest income before Primerica was $20,000 in a year. And now we make that like every week. On a bad month, we make it every 10 days. And we're still okay, just so everyone knows. On a bad month, we make it every 10 days, but usually we make it every 7 to 8 days. Guys, and by the way, I don't do any personal business. I mean, y'all can look at my numbers. You'll never see Whitney Cooper top personal anything. Because I told this company, guys, I've been doing this for 15 years. I don't know how y'all feel. I told them, I said, look, let me tell you guys something. I'll go kill buffalo and I'll drag it back to my Indian tent and I'll do it. I'll do it for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I'll do it for 10. I won't do it for 40. If I'm going to do it for 40, I might as well just go be an attorney and go get a job and I'll work that for the next 40 years. So I'll do it. I'll pay my dues. I don't want to do that forever. And I'm proud to say I don't have to do that stuff anymore. Would I in a heartbeat? Yes, I love what we do. But I'm just telling you guys, when we talk about a business, I mean a real legit business. That's why my brother-in-law, it took him 12 years just watching me and Rob, my brother-in-law, quick story, he's married to my sister. He used to be a pro baseball player. He pitched for a while for the Milwaukee Brewers. And once he was done with his baseball career, he started a baseball business and was making about $200,000 to $250,000 a year in his baseball business. And he just kept seeing me and Rob do Primerica for 12 years, never even looked our way, just immediately thought, no, And all it took is we went on a trip to Mexico and he was on his phone every second. His phone was with him in the pool. It was with him on the beach. And me and Rob, when we arrived at the resort, because we do no personal, our business doesn't depend on us anymore. We put our phones in the safe, in the lockbox, or whatever that thing is. We put both of our cell phones with our rings in the lockbox, and we didn't open it for a week. And all we did was spend time with each other, our kids, our family. We let our team know we're going to be off the grid, and we talked to them in a week or two. And we still made $17,000 that week while we were gone, and no attention to our business. And he couldn't play with his kids. He was always on the phone. My sister was always mad at him. Say, oh, he's always on his phone, right? She was not happy. And then when he really saw how much money we were making, he was like, what am I doing, right? So he literally sold his business, sold it, and started from scratch at Primerica. And this is in January of 2022. So it's been about a year and 3 months, 15 months. Last month, my brother-in-law made about $20,000 of income last month. And just awesome. But when he decided to do Primerica, I was like, dude, I'm like retired. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I want to do Primerica. I was like, yeah, but then I'm going to train you. And I go, if you're going to get me out of retirement, you better not come here unless you're going to make $500,000 a year, or at least $1 million, right? $500,000 to $1 million. If you're just going to make $200,000, 300, just stay doing your baseball thing. He goes, no, I want to make more. I want to make $500,000. I know, no, not one. Are you going to do everything it takes to do that? And he was totally coachable and did everything that I asked him to do. He joined January of 2022. And he started running a 20 by 20 by June, got all of his licenses, and he went out to RVP in July as a regional vice president. Isn't that amazing? And so you can do it fast, but he was totally coachable, fully submitted to everything that I asked him to do. And we built a 10 by 10 outside of him. He did it personal and built that within his first 3 to 4 months here in Primerica. Guys, it doesn't take forever. Like, you can do it. It's all about a choice. It's about a decision, yes? So eventually it becomes accepted as being self-evident. So sometimes people don't support you now. You just got to give it time, and they will support you. It'll be so obvious. Everybody, all my family, friends, they've all told me how proud they are. They wish they would have listened. They can't believe I saw it from the beginning. To them, they're amazed by everything. But I always knew this was special. I always knew there was something, and Primerica is better today than it was back when I started at Primerica, right? And we have a family just like you have a family. These are my 3 kids, and y'all have your own family. My family picture doesn't matter to you, but what I'm hoping is that you're putting your family in you're putting their faces up right now. And my family means the world to me. And I've always promised Rob, when we worked together, he knew I was going to work and get the job done. And Rob gave me permission back in December that he kind of cut the cord and said, babe, I'm tired of us not being over $1 million. I said, babe, we're going to get there. And he goes, man, just do whatever you got to do, babe. Let's just do it. And I said, okay, are you cutting me free? Like, you're letting the animal out of the cage? You ain't going to be mad when I come back? He goes, no, babe, just go. And I love Rob so much because he stayed true to not one time, not once has Rob ever made me feel bad about not being home at certain times or this and that. And again, I'm not working like I did back in the day, but I'm getting back after it. And like last month, we were in a $100 by $70,000 base shop. That doesn't happen by accident. And our hierarchy did 400 by about 300,000. That doesn't happen by accident, right? It's stirring up the pot a little. And Rob, not once, he's not complained. He's not said, babe, when are you going to be home? But then on my end, he knows that I'm not a flake. He knows I'm not playing up at that office. He knows that, I mean, it's very obvious to see that his wife is going to work for their family and that he's not just cutting me loose to go play and mess around. You know, some of these men and women, I go, dude, how do you go home? Like, how do you look at your spouse? Like, how do you face them? Do they call you out? Like, how are you here every day, all month long? I had a month with my brother-in-law that I had to talk with him. I said, Greg, let me tell you something. Y'all have a newborn and a 3-year-old. And I'm telling you, if tomorrow you're just going to come up here and mess around, I'm calling my sister and I'm calling you out, and you can go home and you'll watch those 2 kids, and let's let her come up here and we'll let her work. Either you're going to work or I'm getting her up here to work. You ain't playing around on another day, your family. And I know what you're doing. You're messing, you know, and he goes, no, you're right. I got off focus. I said, good, get to work and don't go home without a result. If you do, then my sister, she's coming up tomorrow and you can change diapers and do that whole mom thing that you think is so easy. And it's not. It's hard work and it's a lot of effort, right? It's not easy. And man, you gotta work. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And to me, like, I'd be embarrassed. Like, I couldn't face Rob. I've always done what I told Rob I was going to do. Always. I told Rob everything we've ever done. I told him what we were going to do, and I followed through with it, right? And it means a lot. I don't care what anybody thinks of us. Like, I don't care what the company, you know, or other hierarchies or other leaders. Like, none of that matters to me. But what does matter is what my God thinks of me, what Rob and my family thinks of me, and it does matter what my direct team, like my base shop, like my team who sees me every day. Other than that, everyone can think or talk whatever they want to. I don't take trips with other people and other hierarchies because I'm either with my family or I'm building my business, period, right? I don't just mess around and play around. Like, I love being with my husband and my kids, or I love being with Triple C. That's it. I love my uplines. I think they're amazing. Some of them invite me to do stuff a lot. And maybe one day, but not right now. We're working to get our business to the next level, and I'm going to spend time with my family and my base shop and Triple C. Are y'all with me on that? So again, are you taking your business serious? You know, does it mean something to you? And to us, it always has. Let me give you a couple key points as I'm wrapping up here. A couple key things that I think really helped us. Number one, we're sold out to being plugged into everything. You know, congrats for being on the Zoom today. You know, an awesome job being on. That's a win. And I don't care where you're at right now or what you did last month. You know how easy it is to unplug? It can be so easy to unplug and just say you had something going on, or something died, like your phone died, or you had this and that. Like, awesome job for being plugged in. You have to be plugged into everything, to the meetings you want to go to and the meetings you don't want to go to. Sometimes the meetings you don't want to go to are the ones you really need, right? Sometimes we don't want to get on those early morning and this and that, but you know what? You need them. Just like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? Even you guys, I'm going to open an invite up to you guys. You know, tomorrow morning, I do a wake-up call, and it's later because I got a workout that got moved. So I work out every morning. And so my workout, but I wake my guys up in the morning, not every morning, but I do random morning calls. Or I say, guys, get on. It's, but tomorrow it's kind of late. It's 6:30. I'm not a fan of, but it's after my workout, and it was either between 4:30 a.m. or 6:30. And y'all can imagine what everyone chose. They chose 6:30, right? That's okay. But anyways, like tomorrow, I'll do, but again, being plugged in, it's so easy to do. It's so easy not to do. So being plugged in, you got to plug into a higher source, plug into every meeting, plug into your leader. I'm always amazed sometimes when people act annoyed that I call or that their leaders call. Go, oh, they're checking on me. I don't need anybody checking on me. I go, let me ask you a question. You seem very annoyed right now. And they go, well, I don't need someone to, I'm like, hey, let's hang on. You seem very annoyed right now. Let me ask you a question. If today, you recruited 5 new directs, you closed 5,000 of personal, and you did a $500,000 rollover, which means you made a lot of money today, well over 12 to 15,000, and then you licensed 3 new agents that were direct to you. Oh, and then you got 20 new names and numbers. Oh, and you set up 10 more appointments. Would you really be so annoyed that I was calling and asking you how your day was? And they go, well, no. I go, yeah, you'd be calling me. If I didn't call you, you'd be calling me to tell me how great your day was. So the only reason we're annoyed is because we know we're not doing very much, right? Just like my kids, they're 4 and 5. If I walk in the room, they go, Mom, get out. What do I know happened? They've destroyed something. They've destroyed something. They colored on something. They broke something. The only reason, right? So you got to plug in. The other thing is the biggest leaders are the biggest promoters. Guys, leaders promote. How big do we promote this Zoom call tonight? How big are we promoting y'all being $1 million hierarchy with Dave and Kelly? Nothing will make me happier. You know Dave and Kelly. And they have been, I know y'all know them, but I've known them longer than y'all have known them. They have been the leaders of leaders. They've been the number one for me and Rob. They've been the number one for Triple C. If there was one leader that I could tell you has given us everything and that has led us the entire time before we were Whitney and Rob Cooper, we were the nobody division that no one knew our name. You know who knew our name? Dave and Kelly. When we were regionals and just went RVP, when a lot of people thought it was too fast to even go RVP. Guess who always believed in us? Dave and Kelly Harn. When I had a question or I needed help, it was always them. They opened their home up to our whole team. Crazy when they had little kids and they allowed our team to come in their home, like 100 of us from Texas. They deserve to go over $1 million. I hope y'all are promoting it. People follow something bigger than what your goals and dreams are. Your guys love you, but not to the cause of the team. The team needs to, and this team, by the way, what I've noticed has been one of the biggest promoters of all of us. I've talked to JR a lot. I've talked to Byron, and you guys have been some of the biggest launchers of this, and y'all need to stay on it and promote like crazy, right? One of the other keys, and we've always been promoters. We've always promoted our upline. We love our upline. The third thing is you got to work a schedule. Guys, if right now you're not on a schedule, get on one. People go, Whitney, what was your schedule? Doesn't matter. You got to figure out what your schedule is. You need to know what Whitney Cooper's schedule was. You need to figure out what your schedule is. Now, I'll tell you what I did. Doesn't mean you have to do it. The point I'm making when I tell you all my schedule is that I was on one. But our schedule was from 9 to noon, 9 a.m. to noon. We were obsessed with only being on the phone to get appointments set up, whether it was an interview or a kitchen table appointment. From 9 a.m. to noon, I didn't schedule a dentist appointment during that time. I didn't schedule one-on-one meetings. I didn't call them QBI. If someone wanted to see the opportunity, I tell them they had to meet with me after noon because 9 to noon was my book time. And I was a fanatic. I had to get 8 to 10 sets every day. We did it literally for 8 to 10 years. Ask anybody that knows me. Ask anybody. You could not have talked me out of that. If I ever went out of town for a company trip, I was doing it while I was out of town. I was doing it at the airport. You could not talk to me off of that ledge. I mean, I'm telling you, it didn't matter. I remember my dad one time had a serious surgery. I was there with my list, and I was getting my sets while I was in the waiting room. I got my 10. I mean, it didn't matter what was going on. You couldn't get me off that. You got to work a schedule from 9 to noon. We're scheduling people to see the opportunity or kitchen table appointments, setting appointments. From noon to 5, I was doing one-on-ones. And from 5 o'clock to 10 or 11 that night, we were across that kitchen table 4 or 5 nights a week. Crazy. And every weekend back in the day, we ran a team event. That's what we worked. Doesn't mean that's what you have to work. That was what we believed in, and that's what we worked. I'll never forget when we got to 400,000. This sounds ridiculous. I sound crazy for saying some of these things. When we started making 400,000 a year, I'll never forget, I actually checked with Dave, and I didn't have to. He never asked me any questions ever. But I said, Dave, I'm thinking about making a change in my schedule. We're at 400,000. I'm thinking about Fridays not doing like my sets. I'll still go in, but I'll show up maybe like at 1 o'clock or noon. And that morning, I'm not going to get my sets that morning. And I go, I'm nervous about it. And he started laughing like, this girl's crazy, right? But we were fanatical. And by the way, today I still work a schedule. It's a very different schedule, but the times I'm there, I schedule myself to be there. And like tonight, I scheduled this in, right? So you got to work a schedule. And you got to figure out what that is for you. Whatever, people that are in shape, guess what they do? They schedule workouts in. They don't just happen. It's not like all of a sudden they're just running on a treadmill like, whoa, where'd this treadmill come from? No, they scheduled in a workout. People that have great marriages, what do? They schedule time together. They schedule when they're going to communicate. They schedule walks together, communicating. They schedule date nights. They schedule dinners. They schedule, me and Rob, we're very competitive. We like playing games, card games, locust games, any kind of it can be Connect Four, tic-tac-toe, anything. We love to compete. Basketball. We've been playing we have a basketball court at our house now. Sometimes we play one-on-one, right? Rob's pretty good. He's got me there. But we were competitive, right? So we like to compete. You got to work a schedule and figure out what that is. People that have it going, they work a schedule. Guys, we were sold from day one on being recruiters. And thank God we were sold on being recruiters. You got to sell out. And I'm not saying you have to be a recruiter, but my gosh, those of you guys that are new, why would you not? Why would you? Just like a lot of y'all have kids. It's one of the biggest joys. Yes, it's a pain at times. And it's a lot of work. But gosh, isn't it so rewarding? And don't y'all kind of look at people that don't have kids and go, oh my gosh, like, you realize how great it is to have a child? We have people in our business. And again, I didn't want kids for the longest time. And then one day I decided I wanted kids. But when I see people not recruiting, I go, oh my gosh, they're missing out. They don't even know how great it can be. So you guys have got to go out and recruit the world, because people, they need opportunity. They're looking for something amazing. And what if it's you? And I believe it is you. You guys have got to sell out to be recruiters, double-digit recruiters. It's a mindset. It's a decision. If you told yourself that you had to recruit 3 people a week to your business, and if you didn't do it, you had to work on Sunday. That was our rule. If we didn't get 3 new people in our business, then after church, we'd grab lunch and we'd have to go to the office, and we have to stay there till 9 o'clock at night. And that's what me and Rob did. Reward, punishment. I know we don't always like hearing that, but usually it works, right? And so we were sold out from day one that we're going to be recruiters, and we're going to double. We heard that you can't guarantee your success unless you're a double-digit recruiter. Well, guess what? We didn't want to chance it. We wanted to guarantee it. So we didn't have 3 recruits. Then we worked on Sunday. We earned our Sundays off. See, broke people think they just should get weekends off. We never believed that. We earned them off, right? And that's just our mindset. It's how we thought. And you don't have to be like that. But hey, we made $75,000 last month. Pretty awesome. We traveled a lot. We went with our kids. I was in Vegas for like a week. We had a lot of fun, right? So I don't know. You guys tell me if it's worth it. Y'all decide. What would your life look like if y'all were making $75,000 a month? Could you save some money? Could you bless some people? Some of the problems you're thinking about right now, would you be thinking about those? How good would you feel when the offering plate came your way at church? Or what about when people are wanting to go on a mission or this and that, or someone in your family, their air conditioning unit goes out, or they need a new refrigerator, right? How awesome would it feel just to have it, all of a sudden their doorbell ring and it's delivered? And they're going, wait, what? What? Like, how good would that feel? Right? I don't know if you guys get this. We've had someone in our family recently, their dryer went out. Like, you know how cool it is to have something delivered? They go, what? Like, who would do this? Oh, it feels so amazing. And guys, you got to be the most committed. You know, committed people attract committed people. I think that's why Byron and Stephanie, I think that's why they attract such great people, because they're so committed. They're such team players. They're so sold out to the cause. We're so committed. This is our wedding cake. When me and Rob got married, yeah, that's right. When me and Rob got married, this is our wedding cake. We had a Primerica wedding cake. Because our cake lady, when she met with us, she goes, what are y'all into? Is it like golf? Or do y'all like to go on the lake together? And we go, Primerica, it's the most amazing company ever. Oh my God. And after 45 minutes, she goes, oh my God, I'll make the cake. Just stop talking about Primerica. And we're like, it's Primerica. You better say it right, or we're not going to hire you to be our cake lady. We're so committed, so sold out. To this day, you don't say nothing about Primerica. Nothing. Like, nothing. To this day, I don't let you, even my brother-in-law, when he first came in to Primerica, I guess he was talking to one of my family members at something, and they kind of made a side joke. I said, I go, who said that? He goes, oh, Whitney, don't worry about it. I go, no, who said that? He goes, oh, Whitney, don't worry about it. I go, no, I really need to know who said that. And I immediately called him. Right? I won't, to this day, I didn't put up with it when I was 21, and I won't put up with none of it today. You don't talk about my company. Just like you don't talk about my husband, you don't talk about my kids. You don't talk about it. It's untouchable territory. And I believe that, and there's no more commitment. I'm sold out to this thing. People don't love it like I do. And are you that way? Do you feel that way? And people got to be able to see that. You know, my guys can see that. Well, guest speakers come speak, and they go, Coach, they were good, but man, they don't love it like you. I mean, they're good, but they don't love it like you. No one loves it like you, and you got to be that for your team, right? Completely sold out. This is proof. Sometimes people don't believe me, so I'm like, people can Photoshop and be really fancy these days. So I had to show me and Rob at our wedding while Dad's speaking with the Primerica cake just to prove my point. Man, and last thing, guys, show me your friends. I'll show you your future. You gotta be really careful who you're surrounding yourself around. And sometimes we think if we're in Primerica, we're safe, and you're not even safe here. Because show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Well, show me your Primerica friends, and I'll show you your Primerica future. Be really, really careful who you're allowing to talk in your ear. You know, people that talk about others, they're small, and they'll never be big. Not only not in Primerica, they'll never be big anywhere. We don't talk about nobody, and you don't get anywhere talking about others. Small people talk about people, and big people talk about big things and goals and dreams, and they don't have time to think about everybody else. They don't have time to sit around and talk about everybody else. You can ask any leaders of mine, anybody in the world. We have never sat around and talked about anybody in this company. Now, if there's something that needs to be solved and fixed, we'll get to the bottom of it. But we don't talk just to talk, because that's just playing so small. That's what small people do. Again, there's no big problems. There's just small people. So the moment you think there's something so big, dude, just quit being small. Like, you're better than that, right? So show me your friends. I'll show you your future. Dude, you guys have got to be in Primerica heaven. Having Byron and Stephanie as your friends and your leaders. Having coaches like Dave and Kelly who do anything for you guys. And I know that because they do anything for us. Y'all got to be in heaven knowing that's who you get to surround yourself around. How awesome is that? I don't know why this is so blurry. It did not look like this on my other presentations, but you'll get the point. In closing, life is hard for two reasons. Number one, either because you're leaving your comfort zone, life will be hard, or because you're staying in it. See, guys, either way, it's going to be hard. And I want to challenge you guys to choose your hard. It's either going to be hard leaving your comfort zone, and it is. It just is. I don't ask why. I see so many people not do Primerica because it's out of their comfort zone, because they're not used to it. It's something different. They go, I've never done this before. I've never had to experience this. I mean, I've seen people like you can't believe do that, and it's going to be hard. But isn't it going to be hard? I'm doing the Whitney Primerica is tough. I go, isn't it tough being broke? I mean, isn't saying no to the people you love most? Isn't that hard? Isn't watching your bank account to every penny before you buy anything, isn't that hard? What about being in Primerica and you don't have the ring and no one knows your name? Like, isn't that hard? Like, so pick your hard. Are you going to choose hard by getting out of your comfort zone, or are you going to choose hard by staying in it? Guys, I challenge y'all to choose the hard because you're leaving your comfort zone. You know, you'll never feel better. So many people don't get what they really want because they keep doing the things they kind of want. What keeps us from what we really want is that we keep doing and going to the things we kind of want. Like, you didn't really want to go eat at Red Lobster today. You just kind of wanted to go. And because you chose what you kind of wanted to do, it will keep you from what you really want, which is a private beach dinner in the Bahamas. Or what about one time me and Rob, can I tell y'all the dream a little? Rob planned a date, and we got on a plane early Friday morning, and he had us dinner reservations in Las Vegas. So our date day was a day in Vegas, and then we flew back and we're back that night. So we literally were in Vegas for one day for our date. Like, don't y'all want that? Isn't that better than Red Lobster? Well, you know what? You're going to have to say no to that. And you're going to have to say no to planning every birthday party and every baby shower and every wedding, because people are having a lot of babies and people are getting married multiple times. So don't worry, if you're not at the first wedding, you can be at the second one. No, I'm just kidding. but the world's crazy. You'll make whatever the next one is. You'll be there on their fifth baby shower, on the fifth baby that they have. Guys, man, Primerica, you're in the right place at the right time with the right company, and you're with the right leadership, and you're with the right hierarchy. Everything is lining up for you to have everything you've ever wanted if you'll submit to the system. So Byron and Stephanie, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to hand it back over to you. Proud of this team. I totally expect this team to be the top players and number one for Dave and Kelly's $1 million push. And I know we can get it to happen with this organization and this team. How can this not be done in 3 to 4 months? Not this year. This needs to be done by the end of summer. Done, stamp it, seal it. This just needs to happen because they deserve that. And you guys know they do. And they have a phenomenal team to get that done. We're going to play a part in it. You guys are going to play a big part in it. So I can't wait to see that done. Byron, thank you for having me on. I love good, genuine people. I love people that are real. I love people that are genuine. And that's what Byron and Steph, that's what they are, to a T, to a heart, to the everything of it. I've always loved being around them. I've always loved talking to them. It's a bonus that he's a 49ers fan with my husband, Rob. That shows a little bit of his character right there. But Byron, I'm giving it back to you. Man, we love you guys, and we're so proud of y'all. And it's just the beginning. Thanks for having us on tonight.
Thanks so much, Whitney. And Whitney, tell them what Triple C means real quick, because they've been asking. I mean, I know, but I want you to tell them.
Yeah, no, Triple C stands for what we think it takes to win in anything, right? You got to be coachable, you got to be committed, and you got to be consistent, right? So you got to be coachable. You got to be, hey, committed. When you get married, you don't say, I try. You say, I do, right? When you get married, you don't say, yeah, well, I'll try. You say, I do. Right? To be coachable, committed, and consistent. Men, don't give your wife flowers just on Valentine's Day. She needs it more. Right? You got to be consistent. Right? You just run one time a year. You got to be consistent. right? And consistency, man, it's the key to all great things. So coachable, committed, and consistent. Byron, back at you.
Thank you so much, Whitney. Hey guys, once again, hey, you want to come off mute, just say thank you to Whitney and just say how much you appreciate her, please.
Thank you so
Whitney,
much.
this was
Awesome. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Great job, Whitney.
You're awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye, Whitney.
Thanks again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. So now you know why I wanted you. Now you know why I wanted you on here, to hear from the best of the best, and she is the best of the best, literally, in not just in the hierarchy, but in Primerica. I mean, they have her speak all the time. And here's the thing. That's why I know we've got what it takes to shock the world, right? We've already talked about it. We're going to promote at least three RVPs this year. We've already got 2 regional leaders, and Marco and Dawu have already said they taking stock on the other one by the end of this year. Now, the question is, I honestly believe we can promote more than 3 by the end of this year. I truly believe it. We can do it. We got some people that are going to go get it done. But you see what she said? I mean, she had so many nuggets. I hope you guys were taking notes, because I know Primerica reveals what you're worth. I was like, whoa, that was a bit. I was like, man, Primerica reveals what you're worth. I was like, man, no one is better than you, but they are bigger. See, think about that. We were the top 3 in licensing, right? Whitney was number 1. She was at 15. We were at 6. But she's bigger, right? We just got to get bigger, which I know we will, which we're continuing to do. So I'm not going to hold you up much longer because Whitney said everything. But hey, guys, thank you so much for taking time out. I know it was on a Monday, but you know, really, do you think it was worth it for you to take this time out to hear that message from her? All right, well, good. I'm glad to see that shaking heads. All right, guys. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. We got things to do this week. And thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Have a great night. Take care.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
That's a hit right there.
Recording stopped.